My name is Jonathan Fisher. I'm an organ transplant surgeon at Scripps Clinic in La Jolla, California. I do liver, kidney, and pancreas transplants. I've been there now for over a decade. And, you know, California is actually one of the parts of the country where we have a greater organ shortage than we do nationally. You know, the wait to get a kidney right now in the United States is on average around 5 or 6 years. In California, it's anywhere from about 7 to 10 years, depending where you live. We simply don't have enough organs. You know, nationwide, we have about 500,000 people on dialysis right now. Of that, about 120,000 are on the wait list waiting for a kidney transplant. And those people are waiting years. And dialysis itself carries a risk, a real risk of mortality. There's about a 10% chance of dying each year you're on dialysis. If you're over 60 and diabetic, it's closer to 20% per year, usually related to cardiac problems you develop from being on dialysis. So the longer someone's on dialysis, the sicker they get. It keeps you alive, but it's really not the best answer. The problem is we don't have enough kidneys. Now, we have done a lot to try to improve donation, both either cadaveric or living donor. The problem is it's still not enough. This is relied on altruism in both settings, but we don't have enough kidneys. The increased risk of kidney failure in this country has gone up with an aging population, with increase in diabetes, increase in obesity. Across the board, we're seeing more and more kidney failure. We're keeping patients alive longer, but people are living to develop more chronic conditions, and we need to do something to take care of that. This is happening even for younger patients, where before we wouldn't have been able to keep them alive. We're keeping them alive longer now, but again, we need to get people off dialysis. This is the thing that's going to impact both their length of life and their quality of life. I think what would be important is to have pilot studies looking at what sort of incentives can we put in place, how do people actually behave, and how will it actually happen. Now, in order to have anything like this, we would need to modify NOTA, the act from 1984. In order to change any act, you need public support to have anything occur in Congress. Along those lines, we've just completed a study that's going to be published shortly in JAMA Surgery that actually looks at a group that a national polling group surveyed of US registered voters who are likely to vote again. Of that population, approximately 2/3 were both in favor of living donation and of a financial incentive, in that the financial incentive would make them more likely to donate. There's a lot of concern among some parties that commodifying the body, that there's a more repugnance to it, and that donors will be turned off, the population will be turned off. Well, actually, when you survey them, that's not really the case. The majority of people are actually in favor. I would like to see everybody who needs an organ get one. I think transplant has been an amazing success story. If you look at the impact it's had on people's lives in terms of saving lives, improving quality of life. You know, it's one of the few areas where you really get to transform someone's life and give them a second chance. I think step one is we need to figure out a way to do pilot studies. And it's going to mean going to Congress and saying, look, we need to amend NOTA in a controlled manner to do this. And I think we need to be able to show that the public is in support. I think it's great that we have this study of an initial population, but I think this is the sort of thing where at some point we're going to need to go to the public in a broader method and broader manner and show that we actually have the support. So we can actually say to our federal government, hey, this is something that needs to be acted on.